Hello and welcome back to the final episode of Murkmire. Yes, I have been looking up, and this is in fact the last side quest that I can find. If there are others, they are very well hidden. I have not yet put my dice tray out in front of me, as I still need some elbow room to wiggle and to complain. And I just knock it over and have to deal with that all the time. So, the last side quest is here with Listens by Smell. Let's get that started. Are you choking? Do you need help?
No. Well, for a moment there, I was practicing my swamp jelly calls when I saw you passing by. It takes just the right amount of saliva to get their tenor. I'll have to work up another mouthful, but there'll be time for that now that you're here.
I hope I don't have to collect frogs for the sake of, well, most likely swamp jelly. What do you mean?
You can help make my sap dreams a reality. Everyone knows the comfort of being lulled to sleep by the bubbling bog and croaking of frogs, but there's so much more to the music of the swamp. We just need to assemble a quartet of swamp jellies.
Alright, how do we do that?
I borrowed a frog net from my friend in Lilmoth. I'm certain it'll work for catching swamp jellies as well. There are 4 varieties of jellies around here, so one of each color should do. I'll wait here and concentrate on appetizing thoughts.
Right. I mean, I have seen a swamp jelly before. Bumped into them. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting the jellies and you're doing what again?
Salivating. Normally it takes me about an hour to get the ideal mix of phlegm and spit for the proper effect. But I think the anticipation has really got the juices flowing. I promise to be ready by the time you're back.
You still haven't explained what you want the jellies for. I'm not catching your dinner, am I?
Bark and branch, no. I could never eat swamp jellies. Imagine the sound. Their perfectly pitched little shrieks would be heartbreaking. No, I just want to spread joy and the beauty of the swamp. You'll understand once you've brought the jellies.
Where can I find the swamp jellies?
They
Sorry, I
like
got
to
distracted
catch
there.
the sea breeze blowing through the marsh to the south along the coast. I'm sure you'll have no trouble if you follow their adorable little calls. The most talkative ones tend to be brightly colored.
And I just have to get them with the net. They aren't dangerous or anything, are they?
No. They couldn't hurt a fly. Well, flies are mostly what they eat, but they're perfectly docile. Maybe even a little skittish. Just scoop them into the net as gently as you can, and try not to lose the net. I'd never hear the end of it.
I've never seen a swamp jelly before. What are they?
Never seen a swamp jelly? You poor thing. They're wonderful little creatures that float on the wind like feathered seeds that sing, but made of slippery goop. This is why I need you to gather them. People need to see the natural beauty of Murkmire.
Okie dokie. So where be they about? Oh, that's not bad. I was like the coast to the south. I was like, this is south. Well, alright, that's manageable, hopefully. So we can go the short way, or we can go the sensible way, which is to go through the door. This is, other than the way shrine, this is the only way in or in. Out, that's easy enough, just jump over the cliff. In, now that is a different string of hair altogether. It's not a long tunnel, so it's not that big of a trip, but still. I should make this active. There we go. Melodic blue, melodic amber, melodic green, and melodic violet. Use a swamp jelly net. I am hoping that I have that net with me. Because it doesn't say that I have to acquire it. So I'm assuming that I already have it in my possession. We shall see. You are just a regular swamp jelly. I'm guessing it's... well, it's not you. So it's down the trail, and... maybe if we can avoid that Argonian behemoth. Should be... You're gonna be an issue, aren't you? Is it literally the one floating? Oh, it is. Well, then let's deal with the problem first, so that it won't become a problem when we are to harvest this. Oi, come back here. That's not a very practical way to be. So, whoop. Oh, I was hoping that there would be some kind of swooping motion with the net. I guess not. That's a regular swamp jelly. Do you like hanging out near dangerous creatures? Is that it? Maybe. Wait, what? Oh, is that one floating there? Right. I thought it would be closer to the river troll, but this will do. Yoink! Alright. Grab some wood, because why not? Oh, we're in the zone where the... where the next one should be. And these areas are... oh, up there you go. Hello. Whoop. And the blue one for our last and... you're down below, aren't you? Yeah. Alright, well, go down there. Thankfully, that is not an issue. Hop. Boop. Okay. What do we have here? A simple lock. Okay. Ta-da! Don't care about that. Or the rune. Right. The problem with going down here is that there is not an easy way back up again. Oh well, a bit of walking certainly won't hurt us. Maybe that this is all there is to this quest. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I'm certainly racing back for the sake of saving as much time as I can, avoiding as many of the dangers as I can in the meanwhile. I need to go a bit further. No. You most definitely did not catch me, as I was far and away. I see ya, Hackwings. I see ya, and I'm ignoring ya. Well, I'm not ignoring them, I'm deliberately going out of my way to go around them, but other than that, I'm ignoring them. What? That's right, nothing. Okie dokie. Let us see. I don't see other side quests, so this will do then. What? What? Oh, it's that. Right, but I have read it, so...
You have my quartet. Wonderful.
Yes, try not to choke again.
My throat.
Okay, that's all there was to that quest. Well,
it's time. You can be the first to see the show. Prepare to be amazed.
I have to give props to the voice actor for that. That was brilliantly disgusting. Well, that only took about 13 minutes. We will definitely, while I get the dice tray and all ready, get to see this show.
All right, my dears, places. And 1, and 2. Oh, over here. No. There we go. Finale. Big flourish.
Impressive. Right, so it's those things that make that noise. Well, I suppose that is some sort of scientific discovery, although I'm not entirely keen on the sounds. I suppose this quest was alright. It was short and to the point. Right, well, we do have a merchant here, and that's actually fine, because I have picked up some trash that I'm looking to get rid of. Not much, mind you, because most of this is items, and that's a totally different kind of beef. But since we are now in a place where no one will bother me, I should think, just to be entirely certain. Yes, this place is secluded. It is secluded enough. It will do. Okay. Now we have more than 20 quests active. In fact, we have 23. But I figure that we can just ignore some of the quests. I don't really care to do the main storylines, so these two, that brings it down to 21. Which means that I'd also have to ignore one of the other quests, if that was the case. But I think I will. I'm not entirely keen on this one, because that's basically just grind and keep going, and that's the start of this quest. So if it rolls the d20, if it rolls a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I will ignore the roll. Or rather, 6 is the Dragon Slayer, so we'll just ignore Mark of Ice in the roll. Okay. Good. Then I need my phone. And I need to open the camera. I'm still not entirely used to this phone compared to my old one. They're both Androids, but this one is just different enough that I'm not yet used to it. Or maybe I'm just not using my phone enough. That could also be the case. Right. And it is recording. Yes. So here's the D20 that I picked out of my random assorted bag. Not the easiest for legibility, but it will suffice. Okay. Here goes the die. And make sure I get the tray as well. And whoop, that is 11. Let's see. Shutting the video off on my camera. Don't need that file to be enormous. It takes up too much data. And putting the tray away along with the D20, as I only needed one roll. That's usually how it is. I rarely need more than one roll, but I'd be more than happy to make more rolls if needed. Okay, 11. That means that next up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Invitation to Orsinium. I've received an invitation to go to Hrothgar and present myself to Forge Mother Algai in the city of Orsinium. It appears that the orcs of Hrothgar need some sort of assistance. Once I enter Hrothgar, I need to find the caravan. So, we are heading to Hrothgar in the next episode. But before we do that, let's just sort of think about what Murkmire had in store. I do like the setting. I find Argonian and Khajiit lore to be significantly underrepresented. Like, there is plenty of it, but it's not showcased. Like, it's hinted at. People go to Black Marsh, they have a terrible time, and then they come home. People go to elsewhere, and they're like, why is everyone high? And then they come home. Like, stuff like that. The game has really been lacking in the let's actually go to elsewhere. Let's actually go to Black Marsh. This is the place. This is the place that you've been told stories about. I like the fact that you sort of mixed the thing about Murkmire, that you got both the outer laying swamp, low water, kind of everything is sinking ordeal. That little more, that's kind of nice. I liked how the cultural differences between the tribes came out, like showing that Argonia isn't perhaps more than most other nations, if you can even call it that. It's not really a unified area. Like, the tribes accept each other and have somewhat peace with one another, but they definitely also have their internal strives and rivalries and stuff like that. The Sandmeres, I could have used a bit more Sandmere. Like, going into one and was like, yeah, this is cool. Is it trapped? Okay, that's something to look out for. We never really did anything with the mud other than when we got the tame wine tongue, which was like, you can get over mud. Okay, like it was not really a problem. Like, the mud was only appearing in one Sandmere, I think, and then like in one place out in the wild, and I think that was sort of underappreciative. It was also kind of like a that hook shot that we got in the grappling hook that we got in another DLC. How can we reproduce that but give it another spin? That was basically that, and just like and that felt a little sort of on the cheap side. The overall story of Murkmire was kind of weak because it was very obvious who was going to be the bad guy pretty much from the moment that you met her. I did like the short stint in the Aliad Doors of Door kind of portal area. That was really, really cool. I would love to done more with that. Like, there are so many possibilities with a hub portal to other portals, like even not just going to other places or even other planes, but also going to other time periods. So I felt like that sort of came in like a bit from the right and was like, yeah, this is also a thing, but then it was like, and then it's gone. Like, it did play a role towards the very latter end, but its significance compared to how grand it actually was, I don't felt like that was balanced quite right. I did like the overall characters. I thought that Cassandra was way too obvious a villain. Like, it was so clear from the very moment that she's like, okay, we haven't been told about this rich benefactor. And there was like a sort of mustache twirling villain. Like, it was, she barely managed to stay on the, oh, I'm on your side, wink. Like, that became sort of like, even her personal motivations felt kind of like, that doesn't sound believable. Like, perhaps it was the voice actor, perhaps it was the lines. I'm not entirely certain, but like, it just felt like there wasn't put enough effort into writing a good villain for this DLC. Now, a good villain doesn't necessarily need to be there. You had the Qa'Rajh, which had a mess of a story, but it didn't have an overarching villain, and that actually worked out. So it's a matter of, do you need a villain? If yes, then you need to write them well. Like, they can't just be one-note characters. That doesn't work for a grander villain. That can work for like a medium boss, like someone who is sort of like a henchman, sort of a higher working henchman. It's like, yeah, I'm loyal right until you pay me. So like stuff like that. Like, you could have that functioning as a lower tier boss, but the overall villain of the storyline, I think this was weak. This was poor. I wouldn't say it's exactly poor writing, but it's definitely not good writing either. And that's sort of like the point that I'd like to get out to. That I really liked the setting. It was cool. Like, there was a few quests that had a very sort of like go forth, go back, go forth, go back, go forth, and go to another place while you're at it. A few quests, but I think, in general, it was nowhere near as bad as Vvardenfell. I will say that, so just so that we're sort of laying that out there from the very start, it was not as bad as Vvardenfell. It was obviously much shorter. I could have maybe done with a couple more delves. I mean, to be fair, at least this delve over here, Sophia Cavern, was very long, overly long, I would say. And the fact that 2 quests, not just one, actually revolved around getting in here, kinda was what I would like to refer to as a bitch move. The trial path of the Lily was actually kind of cool, but the boss fight in it was just sort of like a like it took a lot longer than anticipated, but it was also like, really? Well, that's it? Where to, like, the Sophia Cavern was really long. And because of the type of enemies and the amount of them, and the amount of how the place was designed, it just grinded on and on and on. Teeth of Sithis, while it seemed big at first, was much more condensed, much more like, this felt like a proper delve. And I would have liked a couple more of those. Like, what about something over here? There's something here. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a complicated story for a delve, but I felt that this was a bit, I wouldn't say cheap, but it felt like a lot of the areas were really not explored to their fullest. Like, they could have given so much more to the story and to the area, which I liked how condensed it actually felt. Like, it seems like there's far from Deadwater Village to Lilmoth. No. It takes about like 5 minutes to run the track. Less so if you're on horseback or mount. And obviously, I mean, you can take the way shrines. I perhaps would have liked some kind of way like, okay, now we've sort of come out of seclusion. The Root Whisper Village now makes a path down the shoreline because we need docks, because we're going to start fishing. Okay, good, that makes sense. Give me another way into this rather than having to go through a path every single time or taking a way shrine. In general, I would say that Murkmire was a pleasant experience. There was a good amount of understanding that you need to display something more about the hist while still keeping it on the it's mostly secret level. But also in the you still have to have some basic understanding of how the tribes work in between and amongst each other. Like some tribes focus on art and some tribes focus on murder. And how do these tribes get along when they are so inherently different? And that, I think that actually worked out nicely. I think the character from Deadwater Village, I don't remember her name right now. Again, that points to her not being like... Zuko was a much great character because he was like this calm sort of guide character that really, I know the area, I can show you around. I'm not a fan of fighting, but I'll show you how to get to the place. And that's perfectly fine. Where to her character was very much, I can fight you if I wanted to. But maybe I shouldn't. Like, her whole character seemed so flawed. And it was very easy to choose between her and Zuko, because Zuko was and is a way better written character. Like, you get to like him, and that's not just because you meet him first, or because he's not outright hostile towards you. No, but rather because the whole idea of him having this sort of philosophical take on how you should approach things, like you should seek out a peaceful solution first, and then if they are still hostile, you should obviously be able to defend yourself. Where to the Deadwater tribe is like, yeah, I'll stab it, and then we'll see afterwards if it makes sense that I shouldn't have. Like, that sort of backwards hostility, as I'm really not a fan of, and that probably makes me biased towards non-hostile characters. I mean, a boastful character that fights alongside you is like, ha, I got 10 kills, how many did you get? Like, stuff like that, that's okay, that's cool, that's fine. But her entire character was basically like, I'll stab you in the back if you even think about betraying us. And I'm like, okay, easy there, whoa. Like, it was very clear, probably also to her as a character, that we were meant to be working together. It's fair enough that you don't like having to have help from an outsider, but I felt like her entire quest was like, I don't fully understand or accept what the hist is saying, so I'll choose to ignore things that are convenient for me to ignore. So that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, in general, it was. I think it was an interesting region, if nothing else, and I definitely like how the story actually took you around. That worked a lot better than Cracklon, where it was like, yeah, there is this other settlement that's like big enough to be a town, and you go there like maybe for 5 seconds, and then like, hey, come back to this temple back near where you started. We have something important to tell you that we couldn't tell you up in the town because for some reason our magic that otherwise works in the rest of the village, the rest of the area, doesn't work up there. It's strange. You really should come back. Like, stuff like that, that's really pissing me off. Murkmire didn't do that. So, yeah, Murkmire definitely gets in above Cracklon, that's for sure. It's a little harder to place Murkmire in sort of relation to the other more standard story areas, But I can definitely sort of get where they're coming from. Like, it wasn't a bad experience at all. Right, well, in the next episode, we will find and take the caravan to, well, we'll like to go through Vulcan and then find access to Orsinium from there. So I will meet you probably in Vulcan next time. But until then, take care.